Hey guys, Sunday, January 5th, 2025. So this is my last video on the uranium spot price. I figure I end it with two clips. So without any further delay, let's get into it. So this is uranium spot price. This is where we're at currently right now. This is our low, all-time high. And there's two cycles here. I'm gonna we'll start with the positive one. The one I'm leaning on is the 279 length cycle. It has a Bartel of 63.21. The strength is not that strong. I mean, it's like 1.00. But this cycle is the bullish cycle. This is the cycle that continues into 2030. So this is a very bullish cycle. So we will have corrections. We're not going to go up in a straight line. We'll get some months where it could just go sideways, like we had here. Maybe we had it here until we broke out, and then we had this long consolidation. We broke out, you know, a little mini consolidation. This was a really long one, and then we broke out. But then we had a correction, and we already know the correction was the 1 by 1. We hit the 1/8 on the Gann square. In regards to Gann's timing, 7-year cycle kicked in, 7th year, 7th month, whatever. You can look it up in the Bible. 7 is a number of contraction. You could go on and on, but anyway, there's a lot of things, that stall. Is this it? Like we're done and we're going to continue not going lower? I'm not leaning on that. I'm kind of leaning that we may continue pushing higher. There's a lot of the fundamentals backing it up. The tech sector needs energy. We all need a little more energy. All the things, the iPhones, the iPads, the Macs, the Apples, the Mac Mini. I mean, the AI, the all the stuff, the headsets, the Meta Lab. I mean, metaverse. All these things, everything is just consuming so much energy. EV cars, everything. We're gonna have to figure something out. And I think there's two options. We got the uranium sector. And we got natural gas. Crude, maybe. Or maybe it's both. Maybe it's the uranium sector and natural gas together. But anyway, that's just me thinking out loud and just tossing ideas. But I've been hearing a lot of the professionals, and they've been talking about that the uranium sector has, good probability, especially with all the new nuclear ideas and developments that they're working on and stuff like that. And then natural gas, obviously. So those are the two contenders. Maybe both are going to play out. But anyway, we are still in a bullish cycle unto 2030. So if there's anything you need to remember of this video, is there around 2030, and this could probably fluctuate, but somewhere around, you could probably say the beginning of the year start, if you're alive and well and healthy, God willing, we make it to 2030. You know how things are in this world already. We starting our New Year's with a big bang, and interesting, all these things developing. But anyway, remember that. Now, for the not too bullish view, is the 176 cycle, which is the Bartel of 72.22, and it's a little stronger than the regards to Bartel, the 279. Has a strength of 1.47. It has reached its top, which kind of coincides with this swing high. Now this one is bearish, and this one goes all the way down to 2031. So I have two, and you know, I am leaning on the 279, but just in case I'm wrong, there is a bearish cycle, and the data is, you know, the data is the data. I'm not making this up. The data is showing that. So I'm leaning on one because I'm positive and, you know, believing that the cycle could continue pushing higher. But there is one that is bearish, and it coincides with this high. A couple of things that I'm looking at in regards to Elliott Wave, that this was a wave 3. We are on a wave 4 in 2016, and then we're working on a wave 5. So the wave 5 in regards to the Elliott wave theory, and I'm going to be showing the next clip on that, lines up with the 279, meaning that this is a wave 4 and we're going to work on our wave 5. So that one kind of lines up with the analysis and the spectrum cycle here, but can't rule this out. What will make this more effective is, one, we take the Fukushima high out, which is somewhere around 64, 65. We take that out and we don't find support there, because that's your next pivot high. It could potentially then push lower, find support at 58. Next support would be somewhere around 40. You know, it's like a big correction. Because this is pretty much almost a year, I guess, and change, or a year, close to it, this correction. But you will want at least, and it looks like maybe this could be an ABC correction now, working on a wave, you know, or going into a wave 5 here, but we'll see. But this is the one you need. You want to watch price action start turning from here. There is ones that I have here that are fractal. They're like 22. And if I was to open it up a little more, you know, I'm not really betting on the house on this one, but if I was to, you know, time it right, it would need to start happening pretty much in the month of January, where this turn on uranium spot should be happening. If I was to just use this one as a more of a fractal timing indicator, somewhere in January, and since we know these are monthly, so somewhere in January we should probably have like some kind of turn here. So we'll see. Nothing written in stone, not guaranteed, but just something of my observation. So to conclude, if you're bullish, we need to start turning here. And if we don't, and we pull back in, we need to not take out the Fukushima high, which is 64. These are the things you need to, like, just, you know, monitor. It's going to take a while, you know, uranium spot to show these changes. But if you look at uranium futures, UX1, UX2, you could kind of get some, you know, a little insight of what's probably happening under the hood. So 279 bullish to 2030, around there, August. And if I am wrong and we're entering into some crazy bearish times, which I know a lot of you that are, you know, uranium bulls don't like this chart, but just in case I'm wrong, and too early to tell, but the only way we could probably tell if this is going to play out is if we start taking out Fukushima high, we start digging into $40, then chances are maybe this could play out. So I'm just giving you the two cards but I am leaning on 279. This is my bet, at least to test this 136 high. Let's go to the Elliott Wave and see what the Elliott Wave is telling us there. Okay, so this is our Elliott Wave chart, and let's see what we could see here. So it's kind of crunched up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, as I was showing earlier. Working 1, 2, 3. We got an ABC correction. A, B, and now we're in the final stages of C. And from here, if the count is right, it's going to work out. Work into a wave 5, and a wave 5 projection takes us all the way to $1.36, pretty much testing the highs of wave 3. But I believe it's probably going to go higher. And if you've been following my channel, this is your first projection target. Yeah, definitely we're testing the high. And then there's a school of thought that once you kiss a high, maybe it pulls back, it fails. And that could possibly happen. And this is just very, future speculation. Sometimes it breaks through. So I believe that if we're going to have a wave 5, this is probably going to be it. The final wave 5 into 2030, which would be $209.18. Somewhere in this ballpark. There's nothing really higher than that for now. So first target, 136. Second target, 209. So those are the wave 5 projections. Now let's see what we have here. We are below the 20 SMA, but we do have the 50 below us. That if we ever get down to the 50, that could be very interesting. That means that we broke through the Fukushima high of 65, and we got this pivot here of 58, and you got your 50 SMA, and the institutions love the 50. They love the 50 and they love the 200. I don't have the 200 here, but those are moving averages you want to keep an eye on. What else? Stokes are negative. So if you are conservative, if you're a very conservative trader, you just want to be like, okay, I want to make sure uranium is not doing this, but I want to see it doing like this. Then you will wait for the Stokes to cross over. Once the Stokes, let's make pretend this is us here going down. This is our move where we're at right now. And looking at this indicator, it looks like it flatlines, and then you get the black box, I call it. This was like kind of like oversold or very toppy, and we got it here, but then it gave you the final one. But the timing, it's all about timing. 7 years, 1 by 1. Gann grid. It was perfect. So, conservative, you wait for something like this. Just by looking at the past indicator, how this has worked out. You see, this one didn't work out. You can tell you that's not guaranteed. We had an area where to go long, and look at that. It gave you another one. So looking at this, this kind of gives you like a fake, then the real one comes. Fake, and then the real one comes. So are we going to get a fake and then a real one down here? I don't know. We'll see. But you want to at least get your signal that the Stokes, turned. We haven't gotten it here. That's why you want to watch uranium futures, UX1, UX2, because that one moves a little more. And there's, at least some data that, you could kind of pick up on real time. So that's your first thing. If you are conservative, wait for the signal. Now, if you're risky, this is where you maybe want to dip your toes in. If this is going to play out, you got to see if this is a wave 4 or if it's going to continue pushing lower. Maybe once it kiss Fukushima high. I don't know. We'll see. But, you know, those are the things that I will be watching. I'm not going to do a video every day on this because it takes, you know, uranium spot. It takes a while. But you can monitor the futures, as I said. Let's see. The MACD is still negative. Oscillators are pushing lower. RSI is going down. So yeah. Let's see. Cycles. You got, yeah, so cycle, this is that cycle I was talking about earlier. So yeah, this is probably an area where you want to see what's going to happen here. I think, is that it? Let's look at some extensions, Fibonacci extensions. So let's just speculate that this is it, 72. We found our bottom. Futures made a low at 70 and then bounce. We know we have Andrew's pitchfork that's somewhere around here. So there's a lot of support here. So let's assume that the low is in or very close, and we were to push higher. Your first target would be 122. This is 61.8. Your 100 extension would be 153. I like that number. That's the 100 extension. That means you blew right through 136 high, went straight to 153. Hit a, you know, wave 5, double top, maybe pull back, head fake sideways, and then boom, 153. And then the last target will be around 204, which is your 1.1618. And it has an extension wave 5 here of 209. So between 209 and 204, this is your final target. And this is probably all the way for 2030. Well, 2030 is like a bell curve. Now let's say this is 2030. You got your 25, you got 50, you got your 75 within this bell curve. So somewhere around here. So once we hit 2030 from, you know, January on, then that's when you don't want to be greedy and maybe take some off the table, or maybe lock in profits, because from 2030 this cycle now turns. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen there, but that's just way into the future. I'm just kind of prepping you not to be greedy and be like, we're going to the moon. But when 2030 comes, that's when you want to take some off the table, maybe leave 50% just in case it still wants to continue rocking higher. That would be me. So I think that's it for this video. Just kind of giving you big picture targets and scenario, but we want to see some kind of turning point coming. We don't want this thing continue pushing lower. I mean, maybe we could test Fukushima, but Fukushima doesn't hold, and some of the Gann techniques and angles and stuff that I like to watch, then things are not looking too good. But stay positive, stay focused. Don't, you know, trade the house. Just dip your toes. That's it. Just dip your toes. I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on uranium spot price.